Welcome to another edition of Cybersecurity Divas Leadership Moments with Lendrell Downs. Today's edition is brought to you by Fortify Experts, a cybersecurity search and consulting firm that helps companies build high-performing security and risk teams. Now here's Lynn.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lendrell Downs with Cybersecurity Divas, and I have Courtney Jackson on the line. Hi, Courtney. Can you tell me about yourself?
Hi. Yes, I've been in IT 20 plus years. I am a cybersecurity expert and I own my own cybersecurity firm in Tampa, Florida, Paragon Cyber Solutions.
All right, that's great. What made you go and get your own firm? Was there a reason why you went on your own?
I had pretty much hit a ceiling in corporate America. I started out at the help desk and literally worked my way up to desktop support, system administrator, network engineer. I switched to security in 2008 and worked my way up there. So I was a chief security officer for a company in Maryland, a government contractor for several years, helped them grow that business. So I'm like, I can do this for myself. So when my family relocated to Florida, I figured that was the best time to go ahead and just go for it.
Oh, that's good. So you said you've been in the 20 years, started on the help desk, just help desk, and education. Did you go out in information technology? What made you go help desk?
So before help desk, I should say I started my IT career in the U.S. Navy. So I was active duty right out of high school, but I got out of the Navy and my first commercial job was help desk, transitioning from the Navy. So that's how that was the first job I could get at that time. And yeah, it was like my foot in the door. And then from there, as I gained more knowledge, I do have my master's in information security and assurance and a bachelor's in business with IT management. But I learned a lot just hands-on, reading a lot, getting access to labs, just wherever I could get my hands on something, I just sought it out.
All right, did you have any mentors play a big part in that?
Unfortunately not. I didn't, and that's why I provide mentorship now, because I wish I had, but at that time, I don't feel like cyber was really as big, so I didn't have any mentors.
Okay, so you went from help desk, from networking into security. What piqued your interest in security?
I used to want to be a lawyer when I was younger, and I actually had someone that I worked with that was in security. A job came up. He was like, "Have you ever thought about?" I was like, "No. What is it? What is cybersecurity?" Or back then it was just information security. Like, what is that? So I shadowed him a little bit, and I thought it was interesting.
Okay.
And I just gave it a shot. And my first job, I worked at a security operations center, which kind of gives you a broad exposure to a lot in security. So I got to see a lot of different things, and I never looked back. That was back in 2008.
Right.
So IT 20 plus years, but security for over 12 years now.
Okay, that's great. What would you consider your greatest challenge?
Being a woman in IT, especially a woman of color. A lot of the jobs I had, back then, I was either the only woman or one of few.
Right.
So I felt like I had to work 3 times as hard as my male counterparts, unfortunately, just because I was, a woman.
What advice would you tell a woman go through all that? What would you tell a younger woman trying to get through into this area?
Be strong, be confident. I think that's a big piece. Some of the women I've worked with as a mentor lack confidence in the workplace, kind of standing up as a woman in a room full of men, but that shouldn't matter. If you know your stuff, you know your stuff. So just be confident.
Be confident. Yeah, I understand that one. What's the latest TV show you've been watched?
Blind Spot.
Hey.
I love that show. I just found out about, and I don't binge watch a lot, but that show, I'm hooked. I think it's great. And it talks about a lot of hacking and security stuff, ironically, but action, cyber, I love it.
Yeah, I understand that one. I know there's a glass ceiling, and this is a male-dominant field. And what advice would you tell a young woman how to maneuver this male-dominant role, other than being strong? Do you have a situation that you had to go through? Or
advice-wise, I would say I've found that people that are most successful in this field have a strong IT foundation. Some people just try to jump into security. So I would say build a strong IT foundation, make sure that things are sinking in for you before you decide to progress and just kind of jump around and go to different areas. And then try to get hands-on experience, because being out in the real world doing this stuff is a lot different than what they teach you in the classroom.
Yes.
So even if you can work, a lot of people don't want to work for free, but if you can offer some support services at no cost, but if it gives you as a trade-off hands-on experience, I think it's worth it.
Right. I totally agree with that one. Did you ever have a lab or anything? Did you build one at home, or just a hands-on experience?
I had a lab years ago, but now I still have virtual labs. And then the people that I work with, I give them access to virtual labs so they can access servers, networking equipment, everything virtually in a safe environment too.
Right. Okay, great. Actually, that's one of the advices I always tell people getting off, start working on build your own computer.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
What is your biggest concern in the state of cybersecurity today?
Workforce development is critical. Kind of going back to what I said earlier about the point on education not being enough, in theory and in classroom. I think from what I've seen, there are a lot of people that lack true skills that they need to excel in cyber.
Right.
Unfortunately, employers a lot of times don't want to give people the chance as they just get it. I met somebody who has a master's degree in cyber, but took her over 6 months to get a job because she didn't have hands-on experience,
Yeah.
So there's a gap there. I think for me that's what I see as the biggest gap, just equipping people with the skills that they need to be successful in those roles.
Right. As an education and certifications and all that, and hands-on experience. So what do you think about those three as a stepping stone into cybersecurity?
Yeah, I like that it's like you said, all three things. I don't think one in and of itself is enough. I mean, even if you have experience, you still should maybe pursue a certification. And if you have some experience, or if you decide to get the cert, we'll get some hands-on experience to go with it. So I think they all work together.
What would you say about employers out there, hiring these cybersecurity professionals, from entry level to the senior level? I know sometimes there's a gap. Like I said, I'm a recruiter, so I deal with that all the time. And you're out there as your own company. What do you see these employers need to start looking at more, so not just the certification or whatever?
I think to be successful in cyber, there are some soft skills that are required. I would say communication is big, right? Because oftentimes your audience changes. So you need to be able to tell them in layman's terms, what's going on.
Right.
Analytical skills are important.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to analyze threats and what's in front of you. So those are some of the soft skills that I think are important aside from the technical part.
And where do you see the biggest opportunity to improve cybersecurity?
I think with apprenticeship programs. My company was actually recently approved by the Florida State Department of Education for a cybersecurity apprenticeship program.
Okay.
So that actually brings people in. Employers can hire people under that program. It's at a lower rate because they're training and you're training them, but by the end of the program, they're where they need to be skills wise and they're making a really good salary. So it's like a win-win for everybody.
Hey, I like that. That's actually very, very
I think
good.
companies should do it.
Do you have any favorite podcasts?
I listen to Trailblazers podcast by Stephen Hart. He's a SANS associate that I came into contact with a couple years ago, and he highlights actually successful Black people in business, but I love his podcast.
Great. I'm going to have to listen to that. And you have any other things you want to kind of tell about yourself or what's going on here? Or you want to, I know we're part of Cybersecurity Divas, and you are one of those divas out there that has driven, you're inspirational, visionary, you take action in security. So with all that and said, do you have any other advice about our associate divas coming up, anything else to get them where you are today?
I would just say be open to learning any way that you can, whether it's you kind of obviously taking the initiative to seek out education, but then also reach out to people. LinkedIn is a great network. I know a huge network of people that are interested in mentoring people.
Okay.
So try to find a mentor, someone you can kind of check in with, build a roadmap. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be 5 years from now? And then fill in the steps that you need to take to get there, which would be getting that hands-on experience,
Right.
building out that lab if you don't have one,
Mm-hmm.
connecting with a mentor, all those things. And just, I would say be patient, because I've had people reach out to me and ask for like overnight solutions and quick ways to get into cyber. And for me, I don't think there is one, not if you're going to be good at it, at anything. I don't think anyone's really an overnight rock star, so
Hey,
cyber's the same. I mean, it takes time and patience, but for people that are serious about it, they could really turn into a really lucrative career and a rewarding career.
yes, we can. Well, we have that mentor program that we're starting here on the DIVAS. So everybody out there, reach out to us and we could probably hook you up with a diva to help you with your career. Courtney, I really appreciate everything that you've done, and thank you for being a diva, and you have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
All right.